What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I really appreciate you tuning in today. We are back here with my 1991 Mazda Miata and my 2006 Nissan 350z. This is episode 2 where we are comparing them, or basically doing a huge comparison where which car is better or which one should you buy. I couldn't decide, I have both, but this video and the last video I filmed and the one after this is basically all to help you decide if you want a 350z or you want a Mazda Miata. Honestly, both great cars, but we're gonna go into a little bit of detail today about the interiors, basically talk about the interior storage and practicality, if Miata is going to be more practical than the Z, or if the Z is going to be more practical than Miata on everyday living with storage and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, here we are with my 1991 Mazda Miata. Robert, come on down this way. We're gonna be doing a quick interior search. Basically, I got some water bottles in a backpack here. Give me one sec. Boom, here we are. 1991 Mazda Miata. You guys can see how I fit in here. I'm actually 5'9", or maybe 5'10". And you know, I actually have tons of headspace. Honestly, I could totally wear a helmet in here and race this thing around a racetrack. And then if you drop the top, helmet's no problem, you're good. If you're like 6'5", I'm not gonna lie, you might have to duck a little bit because you're gonna be looking at this sun visor here. The roof line's actually, so the roof kind of goes up with the convertible, but the line of the top of the windshield is pretty low actually. So we might have some issues there, but you can always push the seat back. You have tons of leg room in this thing, honestly. So here we are. I took all the stuff out from behind so I could scoot it all the way back. Check this out. Honestly, you got some solid leg room, especially as a passenger here. You could tilt this back. I'm pretty relaxed sitting here in this Mazda Miata right now, especially as a passenger. Glove box, got a lot of stuff in here, a mask, tons of napkins, just normal paperwork and stuff. Pretty big glove box for a pretty small car, which is pretty awesome. Normal AC controls. As far as like storage goes in the front here, you don't have very much. Robert, come on closer. So you have these cup holders, and the coolest thing about these cup holders is if you want, you could take these out and you have a little cubby right here. So if you want to put your phone in here, it's pretty nice. The cup holders really, they're not very good in the Mazda Miata. So if you guys know of an aftermarket company that makes better, like a better one of these for this, let me know because I'm looking for one. It doesn't hold any drinks. Say if you have a water bottle here and you put it in, most of the time the thing pops out with it anyways. So like if you take a corner too fast, you're dumping your drink. It's kind of unfortunate. Small drinks, it's not too bad, but here is the door panel on a Mazda Miata. As you can tell, we have this tiny thing. I got a straw wrapper in here. If you got a wallet, you can put your wallet in that, but there's no like side, there's not even a net or anything. The door panel doesn't really have any storage on it besides this. You have crank windows, which is pretty awesome inside the Miata. A cool little life hack or trick, if you want to lock the door, you just lock it, right? And you come on over here, you pull the silver thing out, close it, right? And then Miata locked, you know. I mean, I think most cars from like the 90s can do that. So cool little life hack. Robert, come on around. We're gonna go to the driver's side now. And where I spend most of my time, the driver's seat, I'm gonna let you in on a secret, it's basically the same as the passenger side. The only thing is you have access. Robert, come on over. We got the center console. It's actually fairly deep. You know, you can put quite a bit of stuff in there. You wanna see what I had in there? I had all this junk piled in. Receipts, forks, anything you need for your normal daily life. When you drive this Miata, you're probably not gonna carry too much stuff around. And one of the biggest, honestly, storage spots in the Miata is this back table, or I like to call it a table because it's pretty big, honestly. And this is where the convertible top will actually sit when you drop the top. So the only caveat is this disappears when you drop the top. It's pretty honestly nice to have this here. You know, if you've got a duffel bag, or me and Robert have gone on trips where, you know, we'll go camping with the homies. And I mean, it's great to be able to put pillows and duffel bags and stuff back here when honestly the trunk, which we'll look at next, is not very big, but you can get quite a bit of stuff back there. But it's just nice to have this extra spot. Boom. So here's the trunk of the Miata. I have my old steering wheel in here. Check this out. Old steering wheel, airbag and everything, still intact. Don't know what to do with it. Also, what we have back here is I have my tarp. I like to tie this down on top of the Miata when it's raining really hard. When it's just a light rain, it's usually fine. The water will run down and it gets caught in here and actually runs down. There's channels or like little tunnels inside the sides that will actually let the water run out below the bottom of the car. These tunnels actually get really clogged over the 30 years of this car's life, and the water will end up building up in the back, rusting pretty much everything. You can like snake it and clean all the gunk out, and I promise you it'll save you from having a totally rusted interior. And yeah, so yeah, that's basically the reason I have the tarp, is just so when it rains really hard, the car doesn't just fill with water, because even though it has those tunnels, they don't drain water very quickly. So got some rags back here, safety stuff for if we get, you know, stranded, VR headset, the necessities, of course. All right, and I got my spare. You guys, that's an original spare from 1991, which is pretty awesome. As you can see, we got quite a bit of space back here to put stuff. So as far as the Miata goes for storage, it's not terrible. I would say as for everyday living, you know, the Miata might be a little difficult because of the lack of interior little storage cubbies. But if you're gonna go on a trip or something, you have the back here, you can put some duffel bags and stuff. You have the, you know, the trunk as well. So it's really not too bad. We're gonna go get the 350Z right now, break down the entire interior of that car, and then we're gonna basically, I'll give you my final thoughts of what I think is gonna be the better option for interior practicality. So let's go get the Z. All right, you guys, we are back here with my 2006 Nissan 350Z, and like we just did with the Miata, we're gonna talk about the interior of this car. Robert, come on over. The chair is all the way back right now. As you can see, I can't even reach my feet to the end. Like, I literally can't even reach my feet to the front. You got plenty of leg room in this thing. As far as interior storage goes, we have no glove box in the 350Z. The glove box is actually behind the passenger seat. I'll show you guys that in a second. But right here, I have a bunch of monster tabs and coins. I think it's also for business cards. It's obviously full of coins and just random miscellaneous stuff. I have seen a lot of people actually have an extra cup holder right here. So if you have a coin holder / business card holder, let me know. I'm trying to see what is more common out there. I really honestly don't know. You can put a double DIN screen right here. Obviously, I just have the single, and I actually get this interior kind of cubby spot where it's perfect for, got my phone. I mean, you put your phone there, you're pretty much good. As well as you have this. A lot of people put like extra screens in here, so you could have one showing like your music and another one showing like your information that you'd need, like if you're boosted and stuff like that. Huge center console spot, which is pretty awesome. A lot of cars don't actually have that, I feel like. All right, guys, so here's the passenger door. You have your normal door controls here, but you have a drink holder right here, which is pretty awesome. Honestly, the Miata has no cubbies on the side of the door, so it's pretty nice that you get this small cubby down here. It's pretty deep. You could put, you know, your phone in there and maybe even your wallet too. Pretty good storage for the side of the door, honestly. The Miata, they should have put like a net or something on the side of it, but they didn't. Speaking of nets, we're gonna make our way back inside. We have a net down here. Right now, the manual is inside, but here, I'll take the manual out. Good size net that actually doesn't really get in the way of the passenger when their feet are down here. So this is a great spot if you have extra things like a map or something. I mean, we have GPS on our phones now, so I don't know if you'd need a map, but random stuff like that, or a manual. It's a perfect spot to put your manual if you don't want to put it in the glove box. Well, I'll show you guys in a second. Just an extra net that they didn't honestly have to put in here, but they did, which I think is pretty cool. All right, guys, so we're on the driver's side right now where I spend most of my time, and it's pretty much exactly the same over here as the passenger side. The only thing you get is you get a little tiny cubby right here that kind of just passes its way through to that bottom slot on the door. I honestly like to put my wallet there because it's not big enough to fall through to the bottom. It's like the perfect size. So that's usually what I do. But I wanted to show you guys before we jump into the back spots, the center console here, as well as the cup holders. I'll show you. The cup holders, you get this sliding door. You get like this little tiny coin holder. I have some extra like clips and stuff. You can put coins in there as well as your cup holders. It's a little dirty in there right now, but so here's the center console. It's a little dirty right now, but it's fairly deep, honestly. Like I can put my phone in here. You can kind of see, get a size reference on what it looks like. Honestly, I've had no complaints. It does everything I need it to do, and it holds napkins and stuff like that, and it's got a nice click. All right, guys, so down here behind the seats, you have plenty of room. I just vacuumed it, so it doesn't look too bad. But then also, as you come up here, you have the glove box actually is not in the front of the seat, it's behind the seat. This is the glove box behind the seat. As you can tell, I got like some T-Rex tape, an exterior door handle, a zoomy thing for a camera, and a microphone. But it's great for, you know, having some extra. If you have something you need to put back here, it's awesome to have. As well as underneath, you have some extra storage as well. So I think this is also where the manual could sit. I have some Allen wrenches, some fuses, and some adhesive tape back here. So just a nice little spot to have. They didn't honestly have to put that down there, but they did, and I think that's pretty cool. I have seen, there's actually some cars, some 350Zs, that have the exact same cubby on this side. Mine doesn't. This is just a plastic thing. I've seen people put like a subwoofer in there. So a bunch of different options, which is kind of cool. Another thing is you get these two top cubbies, which is awesome that you get these. It's basically for like registration, insurance, stuff like that, you know, small things like paperwork. Also on this side, I have, you know, a rag for like when I'm adding oil to the car and stuff. This is an odd angle, but you get the idea. They're fairly deep. You know, you get a pretty good amount of space, which is awesome that they give you two right between the speakers, which is cool. I did remember one one thing I have to show you real quick. The 350Z actually has a sunglasses holder, which is pretty cool. I've got my sunglasses in here right now, but I mean, I feel like you don't see very many cars nowadays with a specific spot to hold your sunglasses. This is usually taken up with like buttons and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool to have a spot to put your sunglasses so they're not just like rolling around in your car. So that basically covers everything for the inside. Let's go to the back now underneath the hatch. There's a pretty good amount of space back there and I can't wait to show you, honestly. All right, guys, so the very last spot we have to talk about is the trunk or underneath the hatch of the 350Z. So as you can see, there's actually quite a bit of space, which is pretty awesome. You have this Z right here, or this center crossbar. I think it's like for structural rigidity. Not quite sure. I think they actually did away with it in the 370Z, or they figured out a way where it wasn't as intrusive. I mean, you get a solid amount of space right here. You could put a nice size suitcase, and the nice thing is the hatch also kind of indents a little bit on the top towards the glass. So you get a little bit more space towards the top and it's pretty nice. Like right now I got, you know, my skateboard, my helmet and stuff like that back here. The only thing that I think kind of stinks is the fact that they have this centerpiece. It kind of in your mind separates it into two compartments. So you tend to put things in the front versus things in the back that are kind of different. And like my skateboard will end up flying to the back and my helmet and stuff. So if you have a suitcase back here, things are gonna end up flying back over it over time. Pretty sizable trunk, honestly. So personally, would I buy a 350Z for the interior or would I buy a Miata for the interior? Honestly, if interior practicality really matters, the 350Z has quite a bit more storage spots, places you can get things out of eyesight. You know, the Miata, you kind of tend to be juggling things, whether it's your phone or your wallet, or you have sunglasses on you. You know, if you're not wearing the sunglasses, they're in your lap or they're in the passenger seat. And especially if you have a passenger, it can get a little difficult to have proper space to put things. So the 350Z obviously wins this battle. I think it has plenty of storage spaces. Let me know down below what you would take so far in the series. We have one more episode where we're gonna be driving these cars back to back. We're gonna be taking the Miata first, and then we're gonna be driving the Z after. I'm gonna be explaining to you guys all, like, you know, the weight, how they drive differently, and just the overall experience with both of the cars. So hit the subscribe button so you do not miss that video. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when it goes live, and I'll see you guys then. Peace out.